Ancient Egyptian homes. Page 1. How they make houses. Page 2. Where the poor people sleep. Page 3. Entertainment. Page 4. Material. Page 5. Toilets. Page 6. Rebuild. Page 7. Nobles. Page 8. The word pharaohs comes from. Page 9. Stoves. What are ancient Egypt homes made out of? Almost all of Egypt is a desert, and in ancient Egypt they needed to grow fertile land for growing crops. This means that there weren't that many trees for building houses. The Egyptians had to use whatever they had around, and included mud and reeds. Since the Nile floods lasted 3 months out of the year, their houses restrictions often suffered. Where did poor people sleep? The average family lived in a village of sun-baked mud houses. The houses were fairly small with few windows or furniture. They had flat roofs that the poor or rich people would sleep on in the summer when it was too hot inside. What do they use as entertainment? The ancient Egyptians liked to play board games for fun. Two most popular board games were Senet and Mehen. The game of Senet is thought to be over 5,000 years old. It was so popular that many pharaohs were buried with Senet boards, so they would have to have something to do in the afterlife. Mehen was played on a round board with spaces shaped like a coiled snake. How are the homes made in Egypt today? What materials are used in Egypt today? Early in Egyptian histories, the people made huts for their houses out of mud and papyrus reeds, a local plant. Since the Nile would flood every year, it would wash away the mud huts. They decided to start using the mud to create bricks which were stronger than just plain mud. The bricks were created by mixing up mud with straw, placed in a form, and then they left them in the sun to bake and dry. When they stacked the bricks, they could make stronger walls and homes. Where do they use for a toilet? In ancient Egypt, rich people had proper bathrooms and toilets in their homes. Toilet seats in ancient Egypt were made of limestones. Poor people made to do with wooden stool with a hole in it. Underneath was a container filled with sand, which had to be emptied by hand. Do they have to rebuild houses in ancient Egypt? If they didn't like the houses, did they have to rebuild the houses? No one cared how big you built your home in ancient Egypt. It was up to you. Homes were built with straw, made of mud and straw. The ancient Egyptians invented molds to make bricks that let them make many bricks at one time. Most bricks were not baked in an oven. Although, if they wanted the brick to be extra strong, they might bake them. But mostly, bricks were dried in the sun. Where did nobles sleep? The nobles lived in huge homes or villas along the Nile. They painted the outside of their homes white because it kept them cooler. The very wealthy in the outside of their homes with white limestone. Limestone was expensive, but it made their homes sparkle in the sunshine. What's the word? Where does the word pharaohs come from? Pharaohs is actually a Greek word that is based on an Egyptian word that meant great house. When this word was first used, it referred to the palace of the king and his greatness not just to the king himself. We use the word pharaoh today to mean the ruler of ancient Egypt. What foods do they make in ancient Egypt? Barley durra, a kind of millet, and preeminently wheat. At first, Emma and since Ptolemy II, 3rd century BCE, a more modern naked sort. 5 were used. This book is about homes in ancient Egypt, how they make the houses and entertainment in ancient Egypt. Glossary, papyrus reeds, a plant. Melon and Senet, a board game.